Good afternoon, cannabis industry, Illinois. Make some noise. My name is Victoria Williams from Wake and Vape. You may have heard of the brand, woman-owned and operated. Also Wake and Puff. And I have right next to me Edie Moore.
What's up, y'all?
And also Ted Parks.
What's up?
And I have the lovely Crystal from Excelleaf Dispensary.
Hey, folks.
So today I'm bringing to you guys a social equity panel. We are all license holders, and we all walk in various walks of life in the cannabis space, from manufacturing to retail to transportation to vertically integrated here on this stage. And we are all people of color thriving in the Illinois cannabis industry.
That's right.
So my opening questions pretty much is, can each of you share your journey into the cannabis industry and how you became a social equity operator in Illinois? Who wants to start? All right, y'all, we're gonna start with Crystal today.
Volunteer me first. As she said, my name is Crystal, and I got started, actually, my partners and I applied for a license in 2014 under the medical licensures. We didn't get it. The three of us felt that we should have gotten it because we are nurse anesthesiologists and we're in the medical field. So we thought, who better can help patients to know about cannabis? We can, teach them, and based on the things that we do, at the hospital on an everyday basis. However, we didn't get the license in 2014, but we applied again in 2019. We applied for a dispensary license, a cultivation license, and a transportation license. And we were able to earn all three of those licenses. So I am the person on the panel that's vertically integrated. What else can I tell you about myself? We opened up our dispensary in 2013, 2023 in December. It's called Excelleaf Dispensary. It's in DeKalb, Illinois. We have not opened up the craft yet. It's supposed to open in Kankakee, so that's coming soon. And we're just treading along, just trying to keep it moving forward in this business.
And you, Ted?
Yes, my name is Ted Parks. I'm the president, owner of Moetta's Transport. I came in through social equity. I grew up in Chatham, 87th in Cottage Grove. Lived there all my life. I think it's most people that grew up in neighborhoods like the one I grew up in, you have a special connection to this plant. There is a lot of stressors that we have to go through. Our neighborhoods are not like the suburbs, Hinsdale, etc. You're going to grow up with crime. Many of your friends are going to have parents. I had friends with parents that were locked up because of cannabis. I lost my best friend. My best friend, when we were in high school, he was trying to sell a little weed on 103rd and Edbrook, and his competition came around the corner and they shot him. So, our neighborhoods have really been affected by the drug wars and so forth, and the social equity program was really meant to right some of the wrongs of the drug war. And it is doing that. The CRTA law that governs cannabis needs some work. But
How did you get there?
yeah. And so, I'll go ahead. Thank you. Thank you for that.
I'm sorry, y'all. We're
on.
definitely family up here. And Ted will go on and he'll tell you about the whole history when we said, how'd you get here? Yeah. So my name is Edie Moore. I'm the co-owner of Sway Dispensary on North Halsted Street. We opened about a year ago. We're coming up on our year anniversary. And I got to the industry because, like Crystal, we applied in the medical round in 2014. But we did receive a license and was not able to operationalize our license because there was no state help. There was no social equity program. There was no community that looked like this. There was none of that shit. So when we sold our license, I, along with some friends, started Chicago Normal. First thing I said was, I don't want to run it, but I ended up running it. And so we helped write some of the language for the social equity program, and then I applied and won that. So that's how I got here.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Really great to hear all of you guys' stories, and thank you for sharing. Moving on to the next questions, we're going to discuss challenges faced by social equity operators. What challenges have you encountered with licensing, compliance, and regulatory hurdles?
I'll start. So the first challenge we faced was even being able to say we had a license. That was the first challenge. There were lawsuits. There was several lawsuits, actually, and then we had to go back to the legislator and create another lottery because there was cheating going on with the lottery, or proposed cheating or supposed cheating. So before we even got licenses, there were hurdles and challenges. After that, I mean, of course, capital. There was always challenges for capital and finding investors. Our team was very fortunate. We kind of had that built in because we won multiple licenses. So we were able to sell an asset to open an asset. So that's what we did. But the challenges keep going. They're on and on. I'm sure Ted will tell you about the challenges, but the way to overcome those challenges is to work on those challenges. You can't just sit around going, oh, there's challenges. It's so hard. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to slide in a different way. You got to work on those challenges, and that's what we did.
Thank you, Edie. Ted, can you keep it at 1 minute and tell us the challenges that you face with compliance, licensing, and regulatory hurdles?
You know, I would say one of the biggest challenges with compliance is we have to keep the plant secure from start to finish, from seed to sale. When we pick it up at the farm, going all the way to the dispensary, our vehicles have to be tracked. We have to track the speed. We have to have a metal cage. We have to have special locks, GPS. I have cameras all around. All of our vans, have multiple cameras all around them. So we take security very seriously, and that's monitored, by the state very rigorously. So I would say that was a major challenge for us. But coming from a security background for 10 years in banking, I was interested in coming up with a plan that would make us have one of the most secure transport companies that's out there. And then I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Crystal, all right? And she's going to talk about some challenges.
Thank you, Ted. Crystal, what challenges have you encountered with licensing, compliance, and regulatory hurdles?
Well, like everyone in this business, like Edie said, one of our biggest hurdles was financial, trying to get finances to open up these businesses. So that's why we had opened up the dispensary first. We chose the less expensive one to open first, and that was a dispensary. We took funds from our own personal accounts, our 401ks. Some of us refinanced our home, so we did it ourselves. But another challenge on opening up a dispensary is you think about, what we thought about was hey, what about the people, the folks who are selling cannabis on the streets? How can we compete with them? And when you think about it, that has not been our biggest challenge. Our biggest challenge has been the ones who've opened up the shops or who sell the illegal weed in the gas stations, or open up the shops that are supposed to be dispensaries. We have customers that come in to us and ask us all the time, hey, is this a real dispensary? Because there's someone down the street who has that same, who has the same name dispensary, And they're not selling, as Ted would say, they're not selling products that are grown from a cultivator, that are grown from a craft grower, and who have followed the rules that Illinois has set forth for us to follow.
Thank you, Crystal. And we all are in this room together, so it is very important to have these types of conversations. But I'm going to move on to the next question for our panel. What role do dispensaries play in supporting or hindering social equity brands?
You want me to go first?
Yes, please.
Since I've got a dispensary.
You are a supporter of social equity brands. So
I support all the social equity brands that I can. So as retailers, we are the way that Illinois is set up, retailers can only sell to consumers, or consumers can only buy from the retailers if they're going to buy legally. So what we wanted to do as social equity operators is to make sure that we were highlighting all the other social equity brands that we could. We had some limitations because we have a small vault and a small footprint, and there are a lot of brands out here trying to get on, and we are getting to them as best as we can, but we want to make sure that we're educating our bud tenders. That's the first thing we do. Sometimes our bud tenders, sometimes small brands can't provide samples for the bud tenders, and if they don't like it, they ain't gonna sell it. So trust me. But that's the thing. That's the key too. Exposure to the bud tenders. So that's the role. That's how we try to approach it. But also too, you've got to know your neighborhood. So not everything works in every neighborhood, right? Crystal, I think, can talk to that. Our neighborhood is big on vapes and edibles. It's hard to walk around Lakeview trying to roll a joint. Pre-rolls, they like pre-rolls too. But they're not big on flower. So we have to know our customer.
I can agree with what Edie said and piggyback on that. You do have to know the neighborhood, your customers. We are in a college town, so we sell a lot of flower and we sell a lot of pre-rolls in opposed to vapes. But as for our dispensary supporting social equity, we do, and I make it a point because I'm on a board, Illinois Independent Craft Grower Association, and it's a group with the members of all the craft growers are a part of. And so I make sure that when they come on board, they are, welcomed in our store. We buy their products. And like Edie said, it's not always that easy to have every brand in the store at one time, but you're going to be there. We're going to make sure you're there. The craft growers, whether it's flower to seed, infusers, so we try to support all of them. And if you think about this industry, we're in the beginning of an industry, but it's so many brands out here. It's so many of them. And they come to us all the time, and we try to make sure that we get everyone on our shelves at some point or the other.
And sometimes, we make a choice. Like, we don't carry all the large brands either. Sometimes we're like, you know what? All right, we're going to drop this one, and we're going to make space for social equity. We've done that. We've not had a problem. If people ask for that particular brand, we don't have that, but we have this. And it's just as easy as that.
Well, I want to thank you both for supporting social equity. It means a lot to me and this community. And I just hope you guys continue to thrive in this industry. I think both of your stories are very touching, and it really adds some valuable insight to what people don't know, how this impacts our ecosystem, allowing the smaller brands to be on your shelves and allowing the customers to choose whether or not they like the product or not, if it's worthy of staying on those shelves. So y'all want to move on to the next subject?
I'm ready for you.
What y'all think? Y'all ready to move on to subject? Say yeah. All right. Well, we're going to talk about opportunities and solutions because I know people are looking for two things, right? Opportunities and what else? Solutions. What strategies have helped you overcome the challenges you face? Let's go, Crystal.
One thing about it, like I said, this business is new. And so collaboration has really helped us. I always tell people that we're all trying to do the same thing, right? Help patients, help customers. We're in the business of cannabis, and this is our main market. So what I found, or what we try to do, is like we ask questions, we ask for help, and take advantage of all the opportunities that people present to us. And we collaborate with people. I can give you an example. Like Edie and I had a conversation the other day about the dispensaries, and hey, how do you run your dispensary? How do you do it? It's like I don't feel like we are enemies or we are competitors. We are collaborators. We are in this together, and we're here to help the community to thrive. We're here to help, patients and customers, to make sure that they know the product and know the benefit of the products too.
Thank you, Crystal. And Ted, let's keep it to 1 minute, Ted.
Yeah, just want to echo what Crystal said. There is really a community here that's really tight. There's a tight community here with a wealth of knowledge, and everybody communicates with each other, and that's huge. That's huge. You have craft growers, infusers, dispensary owners, all on calls together, all on a signal threads together, communicating, and that's what's going to lead to the best outcome for the customer. So yeah, just wanted to echo that.
Wow.
Thank you, Ted.
I'm going to piggyback on that too, because coalition building is what I do. It gives me no greater joy than to connect somebody else to somebody that they need. I just love doing that so much. So the Signal group that Ted brought up, I started that in 2021. And there was just a few people in it, and I said, oh, you're a license holder. Come on, get in this thread. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about stuff that you need to know about. We go down to Springfield. Those are, every time we go to Springfield, we go with solutions in mind. So I piggyback on the community and the collaborator. I mean, years ago, when Crystal and I started in this industry, these rooms didn't fucking look like this. Y'all ought to be it's amazing. They didn't look like this. So it's a really big thing. And now people sit on panels, and they're opening stores, and they're opening businesses. And that wasn't here 7 fucking years ago.
On the growth in this industry.
Right.
This industry has come a long way and have a long way to go. So that's really great. I want to go and ask you guys, what role should the state and policymakers play in ensuring long-term success of social equity operators? Who want to start that?
You know what? I can say this, that I think, I appreciate our state. I appreciate the CRTA because it gave all of us on this stage an opportunity to get licenses, right? If it wasn't for their policies and rules and regulations, and they're talking, 2016, 2017, writing those laws, we wouldn't be here. So I'm very appreciative of what the state, has allowed us to be able to do. However, it just shouldn't stop there. There's more to be done. There's more growth. There are some hurdles that we still need to overcome. And so, our job as operators is to, continue to let legislators know that, this is a problem for us. Like I said before, the illegal weed that's being sold in gas stations, that's the problem for my small business, my little social equity business. So that's why I talk to the legislators every week to let them know that, I'm having this problem. I want to keep my doors open. So, just realize that it's like a work in progress.
Thank you, Crystal.
Victoria, the social equity applicants and the people who applied and the people who got licenses or the people who didn't get licenses are still very involved in the CRTA. We have taken ownership of that law. We work on it all the time.
Absolutely.
I mean, Ted got a whole Google everything so that we can work on this law. And so what we're asking of our legislators, to get back to your question, is work with us. Some of them we talk to and they're like, oh, wait, there are no black businesses. I'm sorry, what now? There are no black businesses?
Right here.
So that's the ask, is that they work with us, because we know this law. It governs our business, so we have to know it. So that's what our ask is, and continue working on it. One plant, one agency. I got a couple other. One plant, one agency, and the cannabis caucus. That's what I want, is a cannabis caucus.
A cannabis caucus. What you guys think about a cannabis caucus? Yeah? Okay. So Ted, tell us, what role should the state and policymakers play in ensuring the long-term success of social equity operators?
I think it's going to have to be a partnership. And, that just kind of echoes what Crystal and Edie were saying. We have to work together as partners. If we're communicating and we're working together, then the laws are going to apply more to what we're doing versus a law that may have a great intention but may have a result that is not intended. But if you're working together with the policymakers to make the laws, then you're going to have a lot less of that, And I think we're kind of learning this right now. I just want to kind of echo what Crystal was saying. She's in a situation where they have an awesome dispensary. Definitely go check out Sway, Excelleaf. Their dispensaries are the bomb, okay? So right down the street, you got a place that popped up at the storefront, and they're selling illegal weed. So it's like you went and you don't know technically speaking, you don't know what, you want your stuff to be safe, okay? So, but that is something that we could have worked together on with the state, all right, to come up with a solution that works great for everyone. And so we're learning this lesson right now, and being a partner with the state, being a partner with the legislators, that is what's going to keep this industry alive and healthy for everyone.
Thank you, Ted. Next, we're going to move on to the future outlook and advice. And I think that you guys should pay really close attention to this, because this question is something that I feel like a lot of people want to know. How can consumers and the community better support social equity businesses?
Come visit our stores.
And the community. Well, the community, the cannabis community, the consumers.
I think about this right here.
This is everybody
here.
in this room. This is a community right here that we're in.
Getting to know
So
us.
how can this community in this room support social equity businesses? That's a question we all should think about. Because we always say you're a part of the problem or a part of the solution, right?
Right.
Yeah. Buy from... Hello? Oh.
There we go.
Buy from legal places. Buy from legal dispensaries. Support our businesses. Support our grows. Support our brands. Call your legislator. There's the other hat.
What if they don't know who their legislators are?
You don't know who your legislator is? Well, come by Sway. I'll help you figure it out.
Go to Sway, everybody. Sway Dispensary. 3300 North Halsted.
3340.
3340. Wake and Vape is there too. All right, we got 5 minutes left on this panel, so let's go on to Crystal. How can the community and customers support social equity businesses?
Well, I think come into the store, like we said, right? Come and visit us. Sign up for our loyalty programs, right? Write good Google reviews about us, right? Talk about us in your social media. What you got from Excelleaf, and the brands that they have, talk about that. I think that would help, the social equity, like persons like us.
Did you guys hear that? She says something as simple as following them on social media, getting product and tagging them on social media. That don't cost us no money. Sharing a post, it does not cost. That is a way you can support social equity businesses. And now for you, Ted.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, follow on social media. Seek us out. You know, seek out Victoria's product. You know, she's got a bomb ass product. Seek her out her product. Seek out social equity products, and then give them a follow on social media.
Yeah. So often I hear people on Reddit. I'm on Reddit. I know that's old, but so often I hear people tearing down Illinois. It's fucked up. It's this. It's not this. It's not great. We need to do this. We need to do that. We're doing this. This is what we're doing, and that's what needs support. We're not going to go back and put the train back at the station and do something completely different. That's not going to happen. We need to support to go forward. That's all.
Thank you, Edie. And this is our last question for tonight. For today. What's one key takeaway you want the audience to remember about social equity in Illinois? And you don't have to answer it right away, because this is very, very important. This is the last question. What do you want all of these people that are standing around to take away from today?
That we're here, that we are here. Social equity does exist. We're living witnesses, right? And that if we can do it, you can do it too. And everyone can have a space in this ecosystem. It's a new industry, and everyone can play some kind of part or have some participation in this industry.
Absolutely. Thank you, Crystal.
Yeah, we're sitting right here. We exist. You know, we come from neighborhoods like Chatham, Inglewood. You know, so South Shore. You know, we exist. Seek us out. Thank you.
One thing you want them to take away from today. This your audience here. Our peers are in the building. Hey, Vince.
Well, I think I'll echo that we are here. Don't tear it down. Let's keep going and keep building and keep growing, and keep supporting. I mean, Black businesses are here. We're not fronts for MSOs. We're not any of that. We're our own ecosystem. We're our own operator, and it's an ecosystem, right? It goes around and around and around. And the only way to make it go is to keep going. Only way through is to it. To it is through it.
To it is through it. So everybody, that is going to be the end of our panel for today. I'm going to have these lovely panelists reintroduce themselves to you. But before we go, I just want to say what we're doing here is creating an ecosystem. Okay? I'm manufacturing the product. Ted is transporting the product, and it's going into Edie's and Crystal and so many other stores out here. So only thing we can do is to keep moving forward. We cannot worry about what went wrong, what happened here. We have to work on solutions. We know what the problems are. Let's come up with a plan to move forward and keep supporting social equity businesses. My name is Victoria Williams from Wake and Vape, ACC of Illinois Transportation, and Wake and Puff.
I'm Edie Moore from Sway and Chicago Normal. Sway is everybody's Sway on IG.
Ted Parks, Moetta's Transport.
So Anderson from Excelleaf Dispensary, and also from MJ Organics coming in the future. But I want to tell everyone, or encourage everyone to elevate themselves with Excelleaf.
Can we give them a round of applause for today? Was that good information or what? Let's get up and take a photo, everybody. Let's go.